Sick, I tell you, sick. Hi, my name is John Skippy Limcool. Welcome to a patch walkthrough video for a new library releasing for Serum. This is Power Tools by NATO FEELZ. NATO is an electronic dance artist. This is actually, he's got a number of tracks that he's going to be releasing that he built these sounds for. And then I talked to him and I said, dude, you should put these into a pack because they were really cool. And so he whipped them up, made some extra ones. There's 40 wavetables, 128 patches, everything from future bass to dubstep to trap to chill. There's a little bit of everything. So in a second, I'm going to play an interview with NATO that I did last night. And we played he's got 2 demo songs. One of them's a song that he's actually going to do. He's already, I guess, done a full-length version of it and is going to release it as a single, which is really cool. And we interview, we talk, share some information. You get to know about NATO. Really good guy. 24 years old, young kid. He was here in Oregon. He wanted to move to LA. I got him involved in making these sounds for the OMG drum library for Break Tweaker, which came out really well. By the way, earlier this week, BT bought both of the expansion pack libraries that we've released for Break Tweaker, the Mega Modular drums and OMG drums. And his comment to me, check this out. That was his comment to me when I said, dude, so glad you bought these. Thank you for your support. We're going to interview him, I think, in September. So stay tuned. We're going to talk to BT, find out what's going on. It's really cool. He's a really, really cool guy. Okay, so let's get back to, so I'm going to show you these patches. There's 128 patches in the library. They go all over the place. We'll start at the top. But first, watch this. All right, we are live, and I have NATO with me. We're going to do an interview. This is the creator of this library. NATO, how are you, man?
Excellent. How are you doing?
Excellent, man. This is such a kick-butt library. Really cool. I'm really blown away. Tell me a little bit about your background.
I started making music. I started playing guitar when I was, I think, 13. I'm 24 now. And kind of learned some music theory and stuff from my guitar teacher and started making my own music, getting into metal bands for a little bit.
Right.
And then in 2000...
Where did you live?
Outside of Portland, in a little town called Newburgh, Oregon.
Right.
And I was in some metal bands, and then in 2009 heard dubstep at a festival for the first time. Didn't even know what it was called, but was really into it and didn't know what I was even hearing or what this was, but just thought this is rad, and that kind of got me into that world. And then started going to school at Clackamas Community College in Clackamas, obviously. Doing kind of recording and production, but it was pretty basic, and pretty quickly just kind of stopped and just focusing on music ever since. And
did you have music theory and stuff at college level too? Did they have chord classes?
I didn't end up taking any of those classes. I just took kind of the production classes and the recording classes that they had. And at that point, it was pretty basic, so I just kind of kept going on music and been producing about 6 years now.
Right.
And so now all kinds of stuff from dubstep was kind of the main thing I was working on for a while.
Right.
And then since then, it's gone kind of across the board from chiller stuff, hip hop stuff to now I'm working with this company doing sound design and film trailer tracks as well.
Wow.
And then so it's kind of keeps it interesting. So from working on trap tunes to dubstep tunes to film trailer tunes to hip hop tunes and really switching it up. So
the thing that caught me when I first heard your tracks, I was looking for someone to contribute to the OMG drum library, and it's like Skrillex and a number of the other artists that are even in the dubstep and other electronic genres. You can tell people that have some chord theory knowledge. Mm-hmm. They know progressions. It's not just sitting there doing the same chord all the time, and your music does some really interesting stuff. And so I could tell that you had some sort of a background with music, and so
yeah,
it's not like you just picked it up and you've been like using your little trackpad and entering the notes one at a time on the screen. It's more than that for you. So
Yeah, and sometimes I do enter them one at a time, but I try to,
yeah,
I think the more you kind of know about chords and, scales and stuff, the more
absolutely.
you want to
Yeah,
use them. And, yeah, and there's so much to it to where I learned exactly what I needed at exactly the right times to not get overwhelmed even with the concept.
Right.
And to learn just bit by bit. And my guitar teacher told me these things and it was pretty vague. And he'd tell me in one session and we never even go over them again. But I put them together in my own head to where I could understand how the modes work and how, the arpeggios and breaking it apart and kind of just, it's like a map, kind of knowing your way around, and then you can do whatever you want. It doesn't limit you whatsoever. It just opens you up a little bit to your knowledge, and obviously you can do whatever you want in the first place by ear. So there's kind of no wrong way to do it. But it definitely was a cool guide and had a huge influence on my music nowadays. So
you were here in Oregon, and you worked with OMG Drums, and you were a big contributor to that library. You did all the dubstep, the trap, and thank you for contributing to that, because you made it really special, because you did the sounds as well as the grooves, and it was really a straight shot of what you do.
Yeah, well, thanks for letting me be a part of it. It happened so quick. I mean, we talked and you pretty much just laid it on me in one message. We're like, hey, I want to bring you on board, let's do it. And I was like, I don't even know. All right, I can do this. You need it done in a week? Okay.
Yeah, you
get to it.
You cranked it. Well, good. And now we're doing Serum.
Yes.
What do you like about Serum? Why?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It just, the quality of sound.
Yes.
Just sounds so good. The possibilities for, waveforms of importing your own audio and creating your own waveforms.
Yes.
I learned a lot about synthesis actually from just my experimentation with Serum.
Yes.
So, more in depth, and
well, you got feedback. You see what's happening on the screen with your waveform as you're moving through, and the sounds. You can definitely learn more about. Yeah,
about actually what all is going on, and there's so many possibilities, and it just sounds so crisp. It's fair. To make a sound unique, infinite possibilities, but also sound good and clear.
Right.
Well,
let me play one of the tracks. NATO did 2 demo songs for this library. I'm going to show you the Logic. Actually, these are the master Logic files that he created. We'll play them, and then we'll talk about them after I get done playing this one, because I want to ask you a couple of questions about this. Well, that is huge. Really fun.
Thank you.
So I noticed at the top, you've got 2 sidechain channels. So you're using all sorts of sounds are going into one of the 2 sidechains for the dips instead of a sidechain compressor or an effect, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been doing that almost, with every tune I'm working on these days. It depends how many different sidechains I want, whether it's just a quick one with the kicks or the snares, or like a quarter note or a half note one, depending on the song, on kind of the layers, or it might even just be white noise that has that sidechain.
Yeah, and I see the advantage of this. You've got, all of them have, it varies and bounces around, and the shape of the sidechain itself is different through the song, so that I guess is the advantage to using an effect, I would think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just got the freedom to move around the tune. If you have different kicks, that aren't just a 4/4 kick, then you can just
you can
add it wherever you want. Gives you
awesome.
just freedom.
Really
The concept behind it is I wanted a variety. So the other demo was a dubstep one, and that one I just wanted to kind of go all out, demonstrate as many sounds as I could. And this one I wanted to do something a little bit different that kind of showed the chords.
Yes.
You know, both I wanted to show kind of pads and intro. I wanted to show all the options for more melodic stuff, lead sounds, whether it's hip hop or trap or future bass, or whatever.
There's a whole bunch of different things for all those different genres in this one library.
And usually when you're working on a tune like that, you don't need that many sounds, and you just make a hook.
Right.
And so I thought, well, I either demonstrate it with the one sound over and over again, and then I thought, well, what if I had this hook already with one of the sounds.
Right.
Said, well, it's a demo. It's a demo tune. Let's just have it evolve and go through and just show off as many sounds as we can, doing the same hook with a few different layers. Yeah. And kind of so we can show them as much as possible in this demo tune. Right. Hopefully it still sounds good. As much in a short period.
Now this dubstep track, some are audio, some are bounced.
But yeah, sometimes I'll bounce them and edit them.
Yeah.
Or
to get them placed and whatever.
Yeah, to get that sound, you know, just you can make things sound really warped when you have quite a few different quick sounds, you know, in one bar, and then it just gives this weird kind of warped feel to it. So it was fun, and it's demonstrating all these different sounds in the pack.
Right. So a lot of the sounds in this library you've pulled from stuff that you're working on now, right?
Yeah, and most of the songs, I don't think any of them are out, so most people haven't even heard of these as being my sounds. And to me, they're old already because I'm always trying to keep it evolving. But yeah, a lot of these I just pulled right from some of the tunes I've been working on and just said, hey, this is a dope sound. Let's give it out. Let's share it.
That's really cool.
And then so I'll have quite a bit of music coming out in the future with some of these sounds, but it's cool.
Right.
You know, and then it's kind of proof that, hey, I'm actually using these sounds. Check out what I was doing.
Right.
Kind of get into
that's what I really liked. That's what I really liked is that working with you, I knew that would be that these are sounds being used in things instead of just making sounds and imagining how you're going to use them. It's for you, the artist, for the stuff you're working on, so it's really special that you did this, and it's cool we get to share this with everybody. So I'm going to get my audio set real quick, and this is Snob. Why Snob?
Well, it's funny. It was called Riot because it was kind of crazy at first and nothing came to my head. And then after I made the demo, I played it for a bunch of my friends and they were like, this is sick, you should make it in a full tune. And then I did, and I put this clip at the drop of, it's actually me just going, oh my God. And then like tweaking it and all this stuff. It was just the first thing that came to my head. Lately, I've kind of been on it, not overthinking things.
Right.
And I just thought it would be funny.
Yeah.
And then I just named it Snob because it was like a snobby sound. I just thought it would be kind of funny. And
so you were playing the part of the snob.
Yeah, and then I told you we might need to change it because it would be weird if this came out and then eventually another song comes out that's pretty much the same, just with a vocal clip and then two different names. So it's kind of weird, but whatever. It's cool. It's fun.
So this is going to get released as a NATO FEELZ single.
Yeah, I'm not sure when exactly or what's going on or how it even works having it come out as a demo too, but we'll just see. If anything, I might just give it out for free, and who knows. So
cool.
We'll see what happens.
See what happens. Let me mute my mic so that way you can hear this. And here we go. Here's Snob.
Awesome.
so sick.
Thanks, man.
And you can really see what it took to make it happen. That's a lot of work to get all those little tiny intricate parts doing their thing, going away for the next part. You're having, within one measure, easily 4, 5, 6 different sounds at times happening. So,
and then to try to have it all make sense into a groove that people can bob their head to.
Bounce their head and go blah, 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 blah. It's great. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Well, is there anything you want to add? I just wanted people to meet you, know who you are. This isn't just a library from somebody randomly that, you know, it's NATO.
Hey, I don't know, man. It's just been, it's fun to do, fun to work on.
Good.
Bunch of cool sounds.
Good.
Ones that I'm stoked about. So I'm excited to share anything I do and put out. I really want to be stoked on it.
Right.
And once I started doing work for you, I like when we did the OMG drum library. Not that I wouldn't have before, but I really like told myself anything you do with your name on it, be the best you can, and that you're stoked about.
Right.
And,
well, yeah, that's.
I want to put out, half-assed stuff, unless if maybe one day I'll put out some old tunes that I might not be so thrilled about from years back just to do it or whatever. But
just
whatever I do, I'll put my heart into it, make sure I dig it.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's why I was attracted to your work, because your ethic is a lot like the other people that I have working with me and myself, and that try to do the best, make it inspiring, make it so that other people can play it and reinterpret it for different things. And you succeeded. It's great.
Thank you. Yeah, and one thing I'm also excited about is, like the variety in those two tunes. I want to make sure the two demos were different, because I also love making chill beats. I love melodic parts.
Right.
Whether it's hip hop or chill, trap, whatever. So I wanted to have a bunch of cool melodic stuff, some weird funky sounds that I didn't even know really what category to name them, because I was like, well, it's kind of a lead, but it's kind of a pluck, but whatever, it sounds cool and funky. And then also, come in with the heavy hitting bass sounds that nowadays people are putting in with all different tempos, whether it's house or dubstep or drum and bass, whatever you want. So I just kind of wanted a variety of everything that I'm into.
Yeah.
The kind of
it's like it's the encyclopedia of NATO.
Yeah, pretty much everything, the variety of different stuff that I'd want to use in my tunes. So
yeah,
I figured that was the best way to do it.
Perfect. Well, I think people will dig this, and I thank you for your time. And I'm gonna now change clothes and instantly be a different day and start going through the patch walkthrough and show people all the patches. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
For letting me be a part of it.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're back. Cool demo songs, cool sounds. And those are pretty much just stock straight out of the synth. Okay, so let's take a look at these patches. They're organized pretty much like the other libraries I've released. There's space subs at the top, normal basses, then BPM basses, chords, effects BPM, then effects, leads. There's a couple lead BPMs that are cool. There's some pads. They're kind of the modern style pads. They're not pads like I would make, but it's a different type of pad. I let him keep this library pretty legit to what he uses for his tracks. It's different than what I make. So once again, it's another flavor of a library, which is why I have these people do these libraries with me. I went through the library and tweaked a few of the controllers and stuff like that, but this is pretty much a straight shot of NATO FEELZ and his production tools that he uses for his tracks. The plucks, sequence, and textures. So there's a whole lot of stuff to go through. So let's start at the top. These are sub basses. This first one has a drop to it. And if you turn, I actually just put this on. If you take off the high pass filter, it's just serious low end. So if you want more low end, turn off the high pass filter, because here's NATO 8. Big sub. We do assign all 4 controllers in every patch. And the mod wheel are doing things to every sound, every patch, period. No excuses. Here's 90s. This was used in one of the demo songs that we played. can bring the mod wheel up if you want to kill the noise. Okay. These would be more for your techno thing. Here's from OMG Drums. This is one of the trance patches from Airwave. Here's the next one. This is more your dubstep, so let's go back to the sick stuff happening, man. Oh, I should point out also, we standardized so that knob 3 and 4 are the delay and reverb. A lot of times NATO likes a lot of reverb. I tapered it back a little bit, but there's a knob somewhere that will take all the effects out. Awesome. Brings up a flanger. So many ways to use these sounds. So now this one is one where I hid a sub. So if you want, excuse me. Wow. Sorry. So those all about motion. You notice all these. Most everything has movement because you can. This is supposed to be one of 4 pieces like those demo songs you heard earlier. It's just and it's out. Something else is taken off. So sometimes that's the part you want. But again, it does a whole lot more than that. So Java. Just using the mod wheel, getting all sorts of alternative things happening. Low end theory. Awesome, awesome. So many ways to use these. A lot of you have asked about the keyboard thing that I've used in other videos. With Serum, I don't have to worry about that because the keyboard and the mod wheel, you can see right here on the screen when I move the mod wheel moves. And when I move the pitch bend wheel, so you can see what I'm doing with this keyboard. So just FYI, here's radio. goes everywhere. So it could be used for the trance kind of thing, but it could. Okay. Here's reflect. Here's sluggish. Killer attack, man. This one where there's no sub, you could turn this on, put it direct out. In fact, I'm going to save it that way. Here's an Easter egg. I asked Steve Duda like 2 years ago, when doing the voicing for the first release of Serum, I asked for this Easter egg. And I think I've pointed this out before, but I'm going to use it right now. You option click on the save, and you can quickly save a patch without having to go through the whole save menu thing. And that's because I asked for it. By the way, I also have credit for these buttons up at the top. They used to be round, thin, oval things like this. And they were like all this dead space between them. And I said, Steve, it's really hard to switch between the pages when it's laid out that way. And I sent him a picture of an old cassette player. And then he used that as the idea to put the buttons to be like they are now in Serum. So those are my 2 claims to fame. There's others in there, but those are the 2 that are really cool. So a little FYI on the nostalgia side. Here's, oh, this is cool, AI. So if you notice, there's a really long portamento on this, so you can. And the way the portamento works, if you play a new note without holding down, because always is not turned on. If always is on, then no matter where you play, it will always do portamento from where it was to where you. It's going to go back up. But if always is off, you can play down low. So you can play the note. And then look, then while holding that note, play the new note you want to glide to. That's how you get all the glidey stuff. Again, this is supposed to be just snippets that you would be using in a bigger landscape of snippets. Made to just completely destroy, so. If you're into the noise kind of side of things, there you go. I like that. Awesome. Awesome stuff. And they all have such character to them. That's what's great with this set of patches, is there's something unique to them, tonal and harmonic. NATO really gets, not only is he really good with his music that he's doing, chordal and melody and all that stuff that he's doing, and rhythm, of course. But with the sounds that he makes, there's unique identities. He understands how important it is to have a strong concept that you take to have it be the strongest identity of a sound you can. Okay, here's Cyborg. Just rude. So you got all that chippy stuff. This totally freaks out. There's a dimension effect that's really cool that's used on this so that completely wreck it. I'm just crazy. So after Droid Bark, we go to E.T. But listen to the character. It's got some fuzziness to the edges. It's great. Awesome. Are you kidding me? So that's your lit fam. Again, the character of everything is just... cool effect. Mecha. There's that screech sound you love. But you can take it somewhere. Okay. Here's Wub. He's so sick. My God. Rhythm. Man, these are just dying to be used. So instead of trying to copy other people, I want to just point out this is somebody that's making sounds for future sounds that they want to release for future music. So it's a whole different thing. This is like, boom, into the future type of sounds. Which there's some homages going on here to, there's some tributes to the 90s and so forth with some of the sounds, but a lot of this is new stuff. It's crazy. Wow. There's T-Rex. So you can figure out how to use that one, man. That's fun. Sounds like the thing in soccer games, you know, the big horns that they blow. Oh my. So don't forget to play with the knobs. Because this calls up at a really fast rate and I don't use it that way very often. I don't do stuff like that. But move the LFO rate down. I'm sure you can use that. And if the reverb is too much, let me show you a couple of parameters. Size is important, of course, because that's going to make it shorter. But the other one's really important is high cut. Bring this up. That makes the reverb darker. And there's also a decay. So by just doing a couple, and let's make it a little shorter. Now it's part of the sound instead of being so heavy on it. But I'm going to leave it the way NATO wanted it. So I'd set my LFO at that, and I would play with the reverb settings, and now I'm ready to use it in my track. Right? Up next, Vision. Up next is Whoa. Crazy. All right. That's the basses. Here's chords. These are chord sounds. And these could be considered synth sounds for the most part, or keyboard sounds in some cases, but I just kept them under chord because it's more like how you would use it is another way of describing these. So these are chords. Slow attack, speed up the attack. Delays up high, so bring the delay down, bring the reverb down. Maybe bring up the release a little. And change the shape of the release so it's more exponential. And you're ready to start rocking. Block Party. Okay, and the parameters do all sorts of things to the sounds. Great character. Here's Glass. Okay. Lifted. And it's cool because they're not in sync, so they're not in sync with each other in that they can re-trigger individually. See. Very cool. Here's Summertime. Okay, I hit the wrong button. Here's the Friendly Ghost, I believe. Okay. Now we got just straight chords. No BPM, so you can play and hold. Okay, back at it. Huge. Great attack. Okay. Harmonium. Yeah, organ donor. Get down. Here we go to the effects. Here's the BPM effects first. Really great though. Mondo's not doing enough on this, so let's do an edit real quick. What should we do? Let's have it do something. Have the mod wheel bring up the level just a little bit and a little bit of character. That's cool. Have the mod wheel bring up just a little bit of that. So we're going to taper that down. So it's just bringing up a little bit of just stuff. Let's have this be doing pitch. There. So now it's got that's a lot more fun. So let's save that. The library is not 100% done. It comes out tonight, so it's fun to go through it in a walkthrough like this where I can okay. Listen to that. Awesome. What's up, 2? Cool. Gotta have some doom sweeps. Starts over. Cool. You gotta have those. And all the knobs do all sorts of fun things to it. The Rude Rise. It's very useful. Space Invaders. Here's the BPM leads. There's a tempo to them. Okay, here we get to normal leads, but they're not normal, they're really unique. Using this noise source. Cool. These are more your trappy. Okay, really cool. Your Nintendo 64. Now currently it's mono, but turn off mono, make it poly, and then you can have a really good time. This is such a useful one. And a unique, cool little airy thing added to the mod wheel. There's downsampling, all sorts of other things to add. Ah, seems like a picture. Here's another one where the sub's not on, so you could turn it on, set it to direct out if you want to be a bigger. Okay. I love this. Long release, just funky. Okay. Okay, here's White Vans. And it has a lot of glide. If you want less of that portamento / glide effect, just make it a shorter time. Now it's ready for a whole different genre than the glidey types. Mod wheel gives you the alpha. Another one, the sub is off, but add it, it goes into the distortion. Or say direct out and it skips the distortion. Okay, so there's different ways to play with that. Pads. Here's BPM pads. That's very cool. Here's Genesis. Especially cool down low. Okay. This is a cool one. I am no one. Until you move the mod wheel. Okay, very fun. Lost Heroes. Almost a one-note drone. Very Boards of Canada. Cool, very cool. Okay, perk. It's all BPM stuff. And if you want the tempo to be different, just go to the rate and change that. Don't want the ambience. Different tonality and character. Okay. If you want a different shape, just shorten the LFO shape. There you go. Triangle. Trap cymbal kind of thing. Okay, now we go to plucks and here's Dream State. Okay, up next is Hitman. Very useful. I keep hitting the wrong button. Raindrops. Almost an effect, but it is a pluck. Goes away. Rain Dance. Here's Tokyo. What's next? Oh, very useful. Okay, next. Wonk. More character. Cool. Wonk 2. Okay, here's Wonk 3. Oh, these are sequences. So I play one note. Sub is off. Turn it on. Okay. Level up. Sub's off, but you can turn it on. Let's save it that way. Little chord progression. There you go. Major. Here's a minor threat. Okay, let's save. that. That little edit to the volume. Nerd. Car's got a new nerd. Okay, so the sequence, just assume it's BPM based, right? Because it's doing a sequence. Right. Trip house. Here's your textures. So without the crickets. And with. Very moody. Here's a little bit more in your face version. Rainy days. You can turn off the sub and turn off oscillator A and just have an effect. Cool. Here's Tattoo Shop. Cool. And there you have it. A whole lot of different stuff, all inspiring, all unique, all current or even future. That you haven't heard a lot of this stuff yet. We're not trying to copy other artists. We're trying to do new stuff. So here you go. Power Tools, NATO FEELZ, pick it up. 128 patches, 40 wavetables. You need Serum version 1.107 or later because this has embedded wavetables into the actual patches. So they won't load and they won't play in the older versions of Serum. So you need the newest versions of Serum. Keep on top of things. Be legit with Serum, be legit with our library. We make these affordable so you don't steal them. That's, well, hope at least. Thank you for your support. I will thank you ahead of time. And enjoy the sounds. This is future stuff. So get going on the future and we'll talk to you soon. Okay? See ya. Bye.